What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name is Greg. A lot of things changing for me, and also a lot of things changing for Dylan, and he's actually been pretty busy lately. So this video is about, I'm going to be taking over the channel and posting for a while. He's still going to be on here from time to time, just I'm thinking not as often, and yeah, he just kind of needs me to run things for a little bit. So get used to this bearded face. You're going to be seeing a lot more of it. So I wanted to go over a little bit of my background for those of you that maybe have never seen me on a video yet, but I've been an Uber and Lyft driver for about 3.5, 4 years now. I've given not a crazy amount of rides. I want to say like 6,000 or 7,000. I'll have to check. That's both apps together. And I feel like gone through like just almost any type of experience you go through on this app. I've driven it full-time, I've driven it part-time, I've worked only mornings, I've worked only nights, I've done only afternoon shifts, I've done the worst hours of the day, and I've done the best parts of the day. And during whatever saga of life I was in, I had one of these schedules, whether it was good or bad. And I feel like I've dealt with just about every type of passenger too. I've had to kick people out, I've had people threaten me, I've had people that were super hammered, I've had people that were super high. I caught a few people trying to do coke in my back seat. I've caught people smoking in my back seat. I've had a puker, I've had a peer, I've had I think that's about it for like nasty things. But that being said, I don't know, I just felt like I've lived most scenarios you encounter as a rideshare driver. So some other things about me, my story with Uber and Lyft is I started Ubering about 3.5, 4 years ago, something like that. I was living in Nashville, Tennessee at the time. I had hit a stage in my life where I realized I wasn't really just doing anything I wanted. Unfortunately, I was young when I figured that out. I was like 21, 22. And I just started realizing I was already really unhappy with like the trajectory of where my life was going, because I was just like working this job I hated, and I'd always had all these dreams and things I wanted to do, and I wasn't doing them. So the one thing I'd always felt is I'd always wanted to try acting. Acting was like the one thing I was like, I just want to give it a shot. It was something that I always felt like I'd be naturally good at, because I had a huge imagination as a kid, and even like, in middle school and high school, I always felt like I was like these goofy characters. It was like I was like playing this version of myself, which sounds really like two-faced, but I promise I was a good dude. I just like, I don't know, I just knew how to like adjust my character and my personality to different situations. So I originally started Uber and Lyft so that I could act, so that I could pursue it, because I'd always heard, that if you want to be an actor, get used to saying, do you want fries with that? And I had friends that had tried acting, and like one guy had told me that it was the hardest thing for him because he, had a job in LA, and after you audition for 3 films that you took off work for, do you really think your boss is going to want to give you another day off? Are you really going to be able to find someone to fill that shift that last second? And so he, it got to a point where he had to quit his job. And then it was like really hard for him. So I thought of Uber, and I was like, I might have to give this Uber and Lyft thing a shot, because that might be the way I could support myself while I audition and while I build a resume in this acting game. So I slowly did that. I'll fast forward that in a bit, but basically, so now 4 years later, as far as acting, I haven't like done anything really major, but I also produce my films now. But I had a role in a movie called El Coyote. I had a small, I guess you'd call it maybe like a guest star role if it were TV. So I went in, I had about 2-3 lines. But it was in a really big movie. It had some bigger name actors, and it got a theater release. I produced and acted in a short film called Reverie, And I did that in Miami with some filmmakers I know, and we were actually able to get that picked up by PBS, and it's screened all over the world on PBS for 3 days. So that was a cool little accomplishment too. But other than that, I do a lot of independent work. It's mainly a passion thing more than anything. So then going back, now that I've explained the acting. So for about a year, I did just acting and Ubering. I ended up moving from Nashville to Charlotte, North Carolina. I had friends there that were filmmakers that I wanted to work with. And so then I was there for a year. And I was slowly getting better at Uber and Lyft, slowly learning the times to be at it. I mean, for a while, I was making all the money I needed because, single guy with a roommate, didn't have much expenses. I would work just weekends. I would literally work just Friday and Saturday. I would put in 12 hours each day. So I'd work 24 hours a week, and I was making all the money I needed as like a 22, 23-year-old guy. It was a fun time, but, I wanted more than anything. So about a year later, I ended up moving again, and I moved to Phoenix, Arizona, where I've now lived for a year and a half. I was in Charlotte for about, I would say, a year and a half, not a year. So I moved to Phoenix, about a year and a half ago. And when I got here, I mainly did this move to slowly get closer to LA, because every kid moves to LA and then they get burned out and they move back home after they blew all their savings, and it's just tough. It's really tough being an actor. You have to be really strategic and really careful about, the decisions you make. So hummingbird. So I moved here and I was acting, auditioning, and I realized I wanted to step it up a notch. So about a year ago, I started my own digital advertisement agency, and I've been doing small advertisements for, like real estate agents, small companies, stuff like that. I don't really do anything too big, but I just wanted to find another way to make some good money, because I started looking at it as I doubt Uber will be around forever, so I need to have something else that allows me to retain my flexibility, right? So I've been working on that for about a year and a half. I also run a podcast with my good friend on just like really spiritual topics. It's called the Wave and Dave Podcast. It's on Spotify, and it's on everything except Apple. It will be on Apple soon, though. But so that's a quick update on me and who I am. And my time Ubering has honestly been really incredible. I've met loads of famous people. I met Lil Yachty's dad, and he was really cool. He got me tickets to one of George Lopez's shows. So I got tickets to a George Lopez show from meeting Lil Yachty's dad, who's his photographer. It's like crazy how this celebrity world is intertwined. I met Taylor Swift's first agent driving for the CMAs in Nashville, Tennessee. And it was like really wild because he was showing me pictures with her, and it wasn't like, fan pictures. Like it'd be like them just chilling in an RV or like a traveling van. And I've met a few professional sports players. When I lived in North Carolina, there was a backup running back, Fozzie Whitaker. I don't know if he still plays for the Carolinas. I'm not a big NFL fan, but I picked him up. Picked up another guy who played for the Saints, but he was like a special teams player. I can't remember his name. He didn't get like too much playing time, but still really cool, a pro athlete and a really nice guy too. And I feel like there's other people I've picked up too, but I've also, for a while, I had a sales job, and for a while I was literally like doing sales out of my car, and I actually made some good money doing it. So I had a commission-only sales job I did out of this. I have made friends from this. I've gone to parties from this. I have gone on dates from this. And Uber and Lyft it's been a huge part of my life in the weirdest ways, in a lot more ways than I thought. It's been a really fun, really incredible journey. I've had a blast doing this stuff. I love doing these videos too, and kind of meeting this community of people that all does this, because we all are very much alike, I feel like, in our opinions of what we feel about the companies, of what we feel about the money we make. So it's been honestly a really great pleasure, you know, getting to know a lot of you, and yeah, honestly, really love all of it. So yeah, that's a quick update on me, and like I said, I'll be running the channel for now. Dylan will be popping in here and there for, you know, small segments, I'm sure, but for the most part, you know, he's gonna have me kind of do things for now. So like I said, get used to seeing this bearded face. But yeah, just stay tuned, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video if you enjoyed it, and I will be bringing a lot more content to you guys.